if you're interested in what I was doing here. All right. Someone asked me to join the board of Hemus House, which was a group home for abused youngsters in Alcalde, and I did, and soon became president of the board. And that was a very interesting experience. I learned a lot that I wish I didn't know about what happens to young people, why they get into group homes. This is not your average lovable teenager that goes to a group home. Some of them get sent because they were abused either emotionally or physically by their parents. Others were in gangs and were removed from their homes and sent to the home to get them away. It costs a lot of money to send a kid to group homes, and the state wanted the money elsewhere. An Anglo board from Los Alamos doesn't cut the mustard very well in this state. And so they were, every time they had a vacancy in Albuquerque, they'd pull one of our kids. Well, you have to, even if you don't have every slot filled, you still have to pay the director and the maintenance man and so on, and the cook and whatever. And it became clear that the state wanted to close us down and put the money elsewhere. Well, so the first thing I did was to open a thrift store to help support the group home. It's in White Rock, it still operates. And for a while we had one in Espanola as well. We had 2 group homes trying to support this group home because I knew we were doing good work. We were helping these kids turn their lives around. And I learned a lot that I wish I didn't know. I remember one of the social worker or the therapist telling me that she was starting a support group for victims of sexual abuse. I said, how many of our boys have been sexually abused? She said about 40%, some by both parents. Can you even imagine what goes on in a home like that? You don't even want to think about it. But it was clear that the state wanted the money elsewhere. And we could see the handwriting on the wall. I could see that they were going to eventually close us while pretending to cooperate. I know how that's done. You don't need to hear all the details of that. So we made the decision to, well, first of all, we sold off some of the property. We had a 100-acre property in Alcalde, which went from the highway down to the river and included irrigation rights, and we were doing agricultural things with the kids and so on, but it was clear that we were going to be closed. And we sold off some of the property, and that helped, but was just delaying things. And so we made the decision that we would close, we would sell the property, and we would do it in time to give all the employees their benefits. We could have kept going another year or 2, I'm sure, but we found placements for all of the kids and closed it. And then we kept the thrift store going for several years to pay off all the legitimate closing debts. I mean, everyone came out of the woodwork and said, you owe me money and so on. But only the legitimate closing debts we paid off. And then what were we going